doing? They're running us around.
Okay, so for this one, I want to quickly talk about the loophole of accountability that general purpose tech products, specifically software in this case, brings to the maker, right? This accountability loophole where they're not responsible for really delivering on anything specific because they don't assert that it can do anything specific. They, as I've said before, they say, here, see what you can do with this, find your own use cases. It's pretty obvious that I'm going to be talking about ChatGPT and the whole, LLM thing, right? And so what I wanted to talk about the part of it that I wanted to talk about today is, when you have a system that is very specific, it has a very specific purpose, such as, a calculator, right? That you have a very small frame of knowing if it works or not, right? You have a criteria for determining its success or failure, right? And if you were to do the most basic thing on a calculator and say, put in 1 + 1 = and you get 3, you have a corrupt system, right? Because you don't have any questions about what it's meant to do. You're quite sure that it gave you the wrong output. And so now your trust in that whole thing is corrupted because, if you were to use it for bigger, like you use a calculator for things that you don't know the right answer to, and you have a belief that it could give you the wrong number or the wrong output, then your trust in the system is corrupted. You can't use it. It's rubbish, right? And so when you see, recently there was a thing about how ChatGPT lost a game of chess to an Atari ST, right? Which is funny and is going to keep happening. If you look at it through this lens, it's kind of obvious, right? That there's the whole booster response of well, it's not optimized for that. If it was optimized for that, it would be very good at playing chess, right? But that's where this problem lies, right? ChatGPT, just like all of them, is a generalized system, right? It's trained on nothing particular, just everything, and it's expected to output everything. And any framing that you put on it of, I want to use it for this, as soon as you make it specific, you have to think about how specific you want to be, because the more specific you get, the more you realize the system is corrupted, or your trust in the system is corrupted, because as we know, the output is always going to be levels of accurate, right? By chance. And there's no effort being made to optimize it in particular specific areas, because that would undermine the rest of it, right? So it's always going to be a system where it's kind of your own responsibility to decide how accurate you want it to be, because the makers of ChatGPT and all the others don't tell you what it's for, and they will never tell you what it's for, because as soon as they tell you what it's for, that creates a criteria for success or failure, and they have to live up to that. That's what I mean when I say there's an accountability loophole with general purpose products. You never have to live up to anything, because you just let other people say what they use it for. And as long as there's people who don't care about the trust in a system being solid or corrupted, then they don't have to say anything. They just let other people sell it for them.